Hello, and welcome to my second video about LinkedIn for software engineers. In my first video, we talked about should you have a LinkedIn at all as a software engineer, and the short answer is yes, I believe you should. There is a lot of value in having LinkedIn. This is how recruiters are going to find you. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the job search functionality of LinkedIn and if it is useful to you as a software engineer and how to leverage it to the best of your ability. I have broken down this video into three main parts, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about the good parts of LinkedIn job search functionality. It really comes down to research because LinkedIn allows you to use filters to kind of narrow down your job search results. If you're new to the area or if you're looking for jobs in a specific area, it's great for that because you could specify the city and state, for example. Start mapping out where all the employers are in your area, the type of tech stack they might be looking at. They might be leaning in a certain type of direction depending on where you're at. And LinkedIn is really good at figuring that part out. And as you're looking through the employers, LinkedIn will tell you how many people from either your previous company or your school, for example, work at that company. If you don't already know somebody at that company directly, this is how I recommend going about getting a referral or asking questions about the company. If you're not sure if you want to apply there, this is where you start investigating who you can reach out to. I found that reaching out to people that have something in common with you, like a school, is the best way to really get a referral or to find out more about the company. Towards the end of this video, we're going to talk a little bit about scams that are happening on LinkedIn and this feature where LinkedIn shows you which of your connections or people who have something in common with you work at the company is really key to not giving away your information to the wrong company. As you scroll through different job postings on LinkedIn, you will probably see that each job tells you that there is some amount of people who have already applied to this job. At 100 potential applicants, they will stop counting and showing you the count. So there could have been 1,000 people who have applied for this job, but they just say over 100. Now that could be quite a bit discouraging. It was discouraging for me, but I'm going to show you a bit of a trick that you could use. Now notice when you're searching through jobs here, you have all these filters at the top. Number one filter that I would recommend using is first sort by past 24 hours here, which will get you a little bit closer to jobs that are fresh. As we start looking through past 24-hour jobs, there's a little bit less applications. Some are under 100. Jobs posted or reposted in the past 24 hours have a little bit lesser chance of being overwhelmed by the amount of applications. Here you can see like 95 applicants, in this case 75 applicants, right? So, okay, that's better. But 24 hours might still be a bit too far out. Like if you want to be the first one applying to the job or the first 5, you got to do better. And there is a trick for that. The filter here doesn't allow you to go to the last 1 hour. Notice that after you've applied that 24-hour filter, there is a new parameter inside the URL. And in this case, it is showing 86,400. Now that is 24 hours in seconds. So now you could bring that value down to whatever you want. And for the demonstration purposes, I've brought it down to 3,600, which is an hour in seconds. Just FYI, I also have a blog where I always make a post about the video that I am releasing on YouTube. So if you want to see this information in a text format, I will drop a link in the video description below. After editing the URL, the filter will still say past 24 hours, but that's okay. Just notice that jobs are now posted in the past hour or reposted in the past hour in this case. But if you go through some of them, you'll see this one was posted 9 minutes ago. This one posted 57 minutes ago, and we've seen much lower number of potential applicants. Now, another thing to note, the potential applicants, I believe, is only counting when you press the apply button. It doesn't actually know if the person followed through with applying on the website, but this button will lead you to the careers page to actually go ahead and apply. And then when you come back to LinkedIn, it'll generally ask you if you did apply to that job or not. So this isn't necessarily accurate, but it's a good estimate of how many people have clicked on the apply button. Using LinkedIn as your research platform is where it really shines. Now, the bad part is that it's not your last stop. Most companies nowadays use what's called applicant tracking system, for short ATS. And LinkedIn is only part of their recruiting strategy, meaning some recruiters may not keep the LinkedIn job postings up to date, or they might not even check who is applying on there or reaching out to them necessarily. I've seen some of those cases. It's not great. The point that I want you to get out of this is you find your jobs and companies you want to apply for on LinkedIn, and after you've done that research, you go directly to their website and find that specific job, and if it still exists, it's up to date, apply on their website directly. Typically, I will bookmark the companies that I'm interested in, and I will keep checking their careers page since that seems to be the most up-to-date place for finding newest roles. Now, LinkedIn does allow you to subscribe to notifications and alerts about jobs, and that is okay. I found it to not work very well for me because by the time the email hits your inbox and you actually find time to go check your jobs, there's already over 100 applicants for that role. Some companies will have this easy apply button on their job postings on LinkedIn, and I have found it to be somewhat ineffective. I wouldn't really recommend relying on this. I still try to go to the source, to the actual company, go to their careers page and find the same role and apply there. I wouldn't necessarily discourage you from doing an easy apply, but do that in addition to actually applying on the company's website directly. Don't rely on LinkedIn to submit your application. Now, I have already mentioned that a lot of postings on LinkedIn I found to be out of date. Sometimes they don't even exist anymore, but for some reason the company keeps them on LinkedIn. I don't know if they forget or if this is intentional. And that's really where we start getting into the ugly part of LinkedIn. In addition to postings being out of date, a lot of times you also have data mining and scams happening on the platform. So if something doesn't feel right, if the posting feels a little scammy, fishy, whatever, I really encourage you to do your due diligence and do some more research before actually applying. Ask yourself at least these 3 questions. Number 1 being, who from your network works at the company? This is thankfully very easy to see when you're using LinkedIn. Does the company have this specific job posting on their careers page? This is not only to make sure that the posting is up to date, but also to make sure that it actually exists and somebody is not trying to impersonate that company. Then dig a little bit further. What else can you find about this company? Maybe append Reddit to your Google search and see what other people are saying. Through my research, I found that a recruiting agency, for example, is being a little bit scammy and data mining for your information, kind of asking you for your resume and promising you a job that doesn't exist, and really have uncovered a lot of that information through Reddit and thankfully dodged the bullet there. This is going to be it for the short video. Don't get scammed on LinkedIn. Stay safe out there, but do get the job that you want.